Good day, everybody. It's the Prairie Banana. I am the Prairie Banana, and this is your guide to the best of pulse chain, PTGC, and UFO, the Gray's currencies, which are your key to passive income. Whether you're just starting out or diving deep, I've got the insights, the connections, and numbers to fund your wealth, fuel your wealth too. Hit the like, subscribe, follow me on X, and join my private Telegram also to connect with our awesome pulse chain community. We do have a cool community. Now let's unlock some serious gains. Beached Whale, good to see you in here. So what we do on this channel, if you're new and if you're just discovering this channel, is that we stream the spaces on Twitter live on YouTube. So I am getting that set up right now. I'm joining my own space. Discovering this channel is that we just a second. The space. Can you hear me? That's funny to me. That's funny. Okay. The only thing is, yeah. Okay, we need. Okay, hold up. Can you hear me? That's funny to me. I got to figure this out. How's it going? I'm having a little bit of a conniption because I'm not supposed to be playing my audio out of this. You shaded my spaces on X. Okay, if I'm playing the spaces on X and it's coming out my phone. Oh, I know. I think I know why. Okay. It's because I got to go start the spaces. So give me a second. I got to find it. Just had it. There we go. Start it. Okay. Mic is on. Okay. Now we're live on X and YouTube. Dosed easy. Hope you're doing well. And I got to make sure I drop the correct link into the Telegram. You're having dinner while listening? Yeah. I just finished my dinner. I think I must have, because here's crypto somebody with the shark logo. I'll be right back, guys. Hold on. Had to shed a layer. Spaces, Prairie Banana to spaces. Does anybody want to come up and talk? Does anybody have anything? Unfortunately, the guys on YouTube are silenced. They're like, they can't say anything. Hope you guys are doing good. Spaces turned out good on Saturday, I thought. It went for 2 hours. The content was decent. And yeah, what can you say? When you have good content, that's what you guys show up for. It's tough because, like with the YouTube crowd, I can do visuals all day. We can still do this. We can go into look into PTDC. No, let's go. Let's start with the charts. Okay, we had a little bit of action today. Let's start there. We got 4 people on spaces. I thought there might be more. There will be more, I think. But we will start with, let me share the screen for you, the YouTube crew. And let's have a look at Deck Screener. Let's have a look at it. I see a lot of green. I was watching it today. I'll be honest, man. Bitcoin's up 2%. Ethereum's up 2%. Pulse is up 3%. PDI is up 2%. PTDC is down 4%. It was up though. I watched it. It did the slow uptick, and it finally made it into the green at about noon. Let's see. Let's go back and watch the replay. Let's go watch the hourly. See right here. And then it got up to whatever it was, into the green. I don't know what the price it needed to be in the green today, but it did make it. Yep. But UFO excelled. I mean, right now, PTDC is down 4%. UFO is up 6%. PulseX up 2%. Hex, this is P Hex, the real Hex is up 3.5%. EHEX impressing us once again at 19%. What is the deal with EHEX? I see that it's a little bit, it's like half the price. So that might be explain some of the reason for the activity. But it was a green day. I'm happy that Bitcoin is at 114 because according to some historical data, we need to close out, Bitcoin needs to close out September above 107,000. So we have less than 24 hours until the close of September. Less than 24 hours. Tomorrow afternoon, it'll be, as far as crypto, it'll be a new day. It'll be October, as long as there are 30 days in September, and I think there are. Let me check my calendar to be sure. Yep, 30 days in September. So tomorrow late afternoon, we will roll over to October, and I don't think Bitcoin is going to, come down from 114 to 107. That'll be good for Bitcoin and the rest of the markets, because from what I understand from this chart I was looking at, that honestly I learned about from DJ Khaled. If Bitcoin closes above 107, then we should have a smashing Q3. We should. So I look forward to that. We got quite a few people in YouTube. Hello, everyone. Having dinner while listening. Hello, good evening, PTDC and UFO community. Good evening, Josh. What did it do, Duffy Slash and Shank? We're priming up before going prairie bollock. Stay bullish, Grays fam. Yeah, guys. They can get away from us. Well, let's review some stats. Let me get set up on look into. All right, I'll tell you guys something I'm working on, but you guys can't hold me to this. You can't hold me to this because I have not proved it yet. I have not proved that it can be done, but it's something I want to do. I'm still looking into it, and if it ain't worth it, I'm not going to do it because it'll take a bit of time. But what I'm thinking about, and if you guys have any feedback, get it to me, especially if you're in the Polish community, because I was not going to do the Polish language. But here's my idea. I had the ability to translate a lot of these videos and such that I'm creating on my channel into other languages. And it hit me over the weekend. Why don't we translate into other languages and put them up onto my channel so other people can watch them? And I mean, we can't translate my voice yet, but the subtitles can be translated to, listen, German, Hindi, Mandarin, French, Portuguese, Spanish, you name it. I have a list of about 10 different languages that I'm like, that both ChatGPT and Grok are like, these guys don't always know English. They tend to have disposable income, and they might even have crypto communities. Like there is a strong crypto community in Poland. We know this. And there are some other countries that have crypto communities. And I'm like, well, why not just translate into their language, pop it up on my channel? And then, for example, if we do this in Polish, the Polish community, because we got Grays guys in the Polish, we have some of the Grays are Polish and they have a strong community. Well, if they want to onboard their Polish friends that maybe have a difficult time with English, they can send it to my channel. And if I have a dedicated watch list, like how you have watch lists, so they're kind of broken up by a title. Well, I can do this on my YouTube channel, and I can have a dedicated section for PTDC that will walk people through every bit of the Grays currency ecosystem in 10 different languages. Now, again, this is not yet proven, but it's something I have been exploring. And I'm not a little bit excited about it because I think it could help. I think not that we're going to need the help, but hey, do we not want to onboard all of Pulse Chain? I mean, all the world to Pulse Chain? Well, we might need to, make some material available in their language then. So I'm going to try it. And if it's working out, you'll be hearing more about it. And it'll be English because that's the only language I know. So there is that. Hey, on Spaces, we got 6 guys here. You guys have any comments about that? About translating stuff into different languages, material? I mean, honestly, it's all new. And we didn't have this technology. I'd say we haven't had this technology for 2 years. Suddenly we do. And we're going to leverage it. I told Zen a year ago, we're going to leverage AI for the Gray's currencies, for Pulse Chain. We're going to leverage any new technology that can be a benefit to the ecosystem. We're going to leverage it. Why not? And if we're first to market, first to leverage AI and leverage, transcribing English to Swahili, and it will benefit, then we'll just do it. I'm open to you guys' comments. Let's have a look at the dashboard. And then if nobody comes up and talks, this is not a threat, but I mean, if nobody comes up and talks and we have silence for 5 minutes, we might take an early. I woke up at 2 a.m. this morning. I woke up at 2 a.m. And if I lay in bed for any length of time, I can't waste time. I got to get up. So I got my 6 hours. I got out of bed and I rolled in here. Got to work. I'm not tired, but I'm probably tired. But I'm not vying for your sympathy either. But I'm just saying, if we go dead silent for 5 minutes, I'm calling it quits. Go home, get some sleep. But I'm good. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Okay, let's review the dashboard. And I will. Can you guys? I haven't heard a single peep from anybody except for the guys on YouTube, which I'm always asking, like, can you guys hear me? I know you guys can hear me, because if you couldn't, you would have said something by now. And I assume that everybody on Twitter can hear me. You know what? I better check my volume on Twitter. Okay, my volume's up. Because on Saturday, my volume was way down, and I could barely hear Coon Dog when he jumped up. And yeah, man. Shaq O'Neal, PTDC to 15 to 25 cents. I'm going to up you 25 cents. 50 cents. Can we have a gentleman's bet, Shaq O'Neal? Okay. If I win, you give me $1 million PTDC. If you win, I'll give you $1 million PTDC. Can we get an agreement? If we get an agreement, I got my computer and I'm screenshotting, dude. So be careful. Be careful. I'm pretty fast with the screenshot buttons. Spectre, you like that? How's it going, Spectre? Spectre has been hanging around in the Telegram that I created for everybody. It's mainly for onboarding people, and he's been asking a lot of very good questions. And I can tell, Spectre, you are very cautious, and that is good. That is good. I can tell you, when I first came into Hex, I was kind of the same way. I was and you can't be over in crypto, really, but I was extremely cautious, to the point of, like, one time, it was like hex.com, I had to connect my wallet to it. And I was like, in the Hex Telegram, like, is it okay to connect to this dApp? And they're like, oh yeah, it's like the dApp. But I didn't know. And I had heard to be careful. So I was just asking. I just didn't know it was a silly question. But the point is, caution is, in an abundance of caution is good. So kudos, man. You agree? Okay. Shaq, it's official and it's public. If PTDC goes to 50 cents, let's see, if it goes to 50 cents, you got to give me $1 million PTDC. I'm screenshotting it right now. And if it goes to and if it only goes to 25 cents, I owe you $1 million PTDC. This is too much fun. Okay, I got to remember to send this screenshot to because my screen, like I will clear out my cache and all that stuff. And man, I hope I don't have to give Shaq 1 million PTDC. That would really make me upset, man. I got to send this to myself. Just hold on a second, real guys. Hold on a second. Because screenshots. Because if I don't do this, like I said, I'll clear out my cache and all that, and then I'll delete it. And I want to make sure that if it goes to 50 cents, I get my 1 million PTDC. And I'm sure if it only goes to 25 cents, I'll be hearing from Shaq. I'll leave it up to you to reach out, though, dude. I will send you the screenshot, though, if you need it. You know what I mean? Honest. Just to be a gentleman. It's like Hex Nobody sold at 55 cents. 80% were out at around 15 to 20 cents. Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, I would agree with that. I have to be. You've been ripped off a couple times? Man, I hear you. Yeah, anything less than 50 cents, I win, bro. That's true because there is that gray zone, you know. Okay, we might have to talk about that. Let's see. Anything less than 50 cents, you win. Anything more than 50 cents, I win. There we go. Shake hands on it. All right. Okay, back to what we were doing. Does anybody want to come up and chat? I mean, I don't want to hog the show just talking. I called in a chatterbox on Saturday. Well, listen, look at me. You're funny, man. You're making me laugh. And I probably need some good laughter right now. Let's look at the dashboard. That's fun, dude. Thanks for souping up the show. PTGC. When I came in, I think we had burned 8 or 9%. Now we have burned nearly 13%. $11 million worth of PTDC. And you know, one thing that hit me that I like to mention that is that every single one of these tokens, like this token right here, is a miner. It mines more PTDC 24/7. And when it's in the dead address, you see all these 42.5 billion tokens that are in the dead address. Every single one of those is a miner that will never again mine more PTDC because they cannot. And by the way, the other PTDC that can't mine is PTDC that's in LPs. So in the last 15 minutes, we've burned, we've nuked, we've put out a commission 66,082 PTDC. Now that sounds a little better when you say it that way. You know, when you burn 66,000, that doesn't sound as good as when you say you put about a commission, because it's true. They're out of commission, 66,000. It's just $17 worth. But when we do 100x, like when we go above 50 cents, Shaq, you know, that's going to be way more than $17 worth of PTDC that we just burned in the last 15 minutes. What is that going to be? If we go up to 50 cents, 0.5 divided by 0.0003, is it 3.2 maybe? That's a 1562x. 1562 times 17 in the last 15 minutes would be $26,562 worth of tokens burned. 26,000. That's some people's annual income that we burned in the last 15 minutes once we go above 50 cents. That's pretty exciting. Let's skip right up to the 24-hour mark. 4.6 million PTDC burned in the last 24 hours. $1,200 worth. $1,200 worth. Now, okay, we got to do that one too. What was it? 15? I think it was 1560. 1,560x to get it to 50 cents times $1,191. This could be a lot. Times 1191. Whoa, you guys ain't gonna believe this number. in the last 24 hours. By the time PTDC is north of 50 cents, $1.9 million. $1.9 million worth of PTDC in one day. And you know how these days tick over. You know, I mean, it's almost the end of 2025. What else do we have? Market metrics. Here's the price. Wait, we are at what? Is this PTDC? Okay, I was estimating high. We're actually at like 00026. The volume is 140,000, and that's good volume, by the way. I mean, I'll spare you guys, but I could show you what the volume was on this date last year, and it was probably less. It was probably less. I know that the monthly volume is for the month of September is probably more than it's probably in the order of about 5 to 8 times more than it was in September of 2024. Liquidity is $4 million. We had 660 transactions. The pulse price, here's the ratio. It costs 7.31 pulse to get a single PTGC. The circulating supply is 290,886 million PTDC. That's the circulating supply. Reducing all the time. We started with 333 billion. We are 38x away from a penny. PTDC average daily volume. The 7-day average is 110,000. Okay, that's good. The 30-day average is, I got to go look. Bear with me, guys. I got to go find the average for September. The average volume for September. If I can just get my eyes on them. Just bear with me. And if anybody wants to come up and chat. Okay, here we go. September 2024, the average daily volume was, let's see, it was 134,000. So this month it's 136,000. Okay, so it's more, but not much more. Not much. It was a slow month. Let's move on down to the fee allocation, the last 24 hours. Now this is the allocation from all the transactions, the 5% fee for PTDC based on the volume. You know, if somebody puts in $1,000, if somebody buys $1,000 worth of PTDC, he's going to spend $50 for the community fee. $50 goes toward the community. The buy and burn, the add to LP, the 2% to the DAO, the 1% to holders, 1% for stakers. All that for the last 24 hours added up to $7,006. And in the last 7 days, basically $39,000. 180 days, $1.67 million collected in the last 6 months. I mean, just this year. Has this year been a blowout year? No. No. I mean, we had a good, November through February. But after that, it was not very exciting. So if you even go back, like 180 days is, let's see, is that, I'm sorry. 180 days is, how many months is that? I'm streaming, so my brain is fried right now. 180 divided by 30. Yeah, that's 6 months. But that puts us to the end of March to date when we had our big run up. Our run up was over, I think, by March. So this 180 days, that's $1.67 million generated of fees generated in the last 6 months, which was not, we were not performing stellarly in that 180 days, but we still brought in 1.6 million. With no overhead. Let's see. We burned. This must be 24 hours. Oh, yeah. In the last 24 hours, we burned $700 worth of PTDC. I guarantee there's probably somebody in the last day or 5 days that bought a bag that was about $700, and we just burned that. We added $700 to the liquidity, and that's with the Pulse PTDC pair. $2,800 went to the Dow, bolstering the Dow funds with the Dow wallet, and that monies goes to the Dow in the form of Pulse, and it will be used to either buy and burn PTDC tokens or bolster up LPs, or maybe even create some new LPs. Holder reflections was holders were paid. PTDC holders were paid $1,400 in the last 24 hours, and stakers were paid $1,400. And there are more stakers than there are holders. Stakers are earning about 160% more than holders. Okay, now we have some other chart. We can do things with this chart. Okay. Hold on a second. Oh, I got to log in to do things with this chart. Hold on one second. And again, you guys can come up and chat. Ask me any questions on YouTube. If you got questions, reach out. Ask them. That's what we're here for. We're here to talk about anything Grays, Currencies, PTDC, UFO, or Pulse Chain, or even like broader market topics as well. Let's see. Like, how about this one? There's a lot of companies buying up Ethereum, guys. There's a lot of companies buying up Bitcoin. That's so bullish. There are companies, I've been binge listening to this guy. I don't recall his channel name. I'll start remembering it. It might come to me, but he's like posting a video about every other day, and it's always has to do with these companies buying Ethereum, and he's got the documentation. They're buying Ethereum, they're buying Bitcoin, and they're stating their goals. I don't know if it's because they're perhaps publicly traded companies. They have to, they can't keep secrets or something. But I mean, some of these companies are actively and publicly and vocally stating what their goals are for accumulation of Bitcoin and Ethereum, and it's not small numbers. And I'm just thinking, man, if they can accomplish their goals by the end of 2026, I can just imagine where this market's going to go. So let's have a look at this. If you're on look into and you click on the 180 days, then the fees collected in the 5 different categories down here will update and reflect 180 days. So in the last 180 days, we burned $166,880 worth of PTDC. We added the same to liquidity. There were $667,522 sent to the Dow. Holders and stakers were each paid $333,761. Yo, that's some good revenue. That is some very good revenue. At the bottom of a layer 1 that's floundering, at the bottom of, at the beginning of a bull run, you might say. Yeah, that's some good revenue. Just wait till things are kicking off. I got to go turn a light on here. Hold on, guys. All right, let's get into, I want to try something else here. Hold up. If I click on show chart, many of you may not have seen this before, but feast your eyes on this. I haven't done this in a while, so let me try to get my own mindset on being able to walk you through this. So we're going to select the 280 days. And let's see, I think this is the volume. There's the volume. Okay, this is the volume from, actually, because it's 280 days, we're looking at Christmas Eve last winter to today. Now we're going to select the price overlay, show price overlay. Now, isn't that interesting? It's more than interesting. It's more than interesting. That's bullish because we know that volume on Pulse Chain right now is like, I don't know what it was. I don't know what it is. I'll be getting the data for the month of September tomorrow. But if it's anything like it was in August, it was like what, maybe 20 million a day, something like that. Very slow volume on Pulse Chain right now. Ethereum is probably, the volume on Ethereum is probably, I don't know, maybe 100, 1,000 times more than the volume on Pulse Chain. If we pick up 10% of the volume that Ethereum has in their full-blown bull run, and when the Gray's currencies have volume, it tends to push up price. Where is that going to send us? You know, I mean, look at that. When we have volume, it's crystal clear. Whenever we have volume, and what's interesting to me is notice how the price, at least in February, lagged volume. You see that? And I don't know that it actually does that all the time. It doesn't look super consistent, but I'm curious. I'll be watching it. But whenever we have an uptick in volume, we have an uptick in price. That's crystal clear. So that's cool. Let's see if we can put the fees in there. Yeah, man. It's like a heat map almost with the different colors. Good job, Crypto Kong. He spent a lot of time building that site. So anyhow, that's really cool. Let's go to UFO. One of these days, you know what I'd like to do with this site? I'd like to put UFO at the top, just to be contrary. How about we do that? You know what we should do? We should do that for all of 2026. We should flip it around. We should just make 2026. I wonder if Zen's listening. We'll make 2026 the year of the UFO. We will always talk about UFO, and PTDC will be the one on the sidelines, getting a little bit. I'm being a bit of a stinker, but you guys follow me on that? Wouldn't that be funny? We just flip the narrative. That's 2026. We're just going to talk about UFO first. UFO is always going to get talked about first and shown on the presentations first and all that. That'd be fun. No, we're probably ain't going to do it, but it's just one of those things you talk about and you never do. But let's go through UFO. I just feel like UFO doesn't get the love that it's like deserves. And at some point, it might end up demanding the love that it deserves, the attention that it deserves. It sure got the attention. It's gotten the attention before. But even still, when it was pumping, we still didn't give it a lot of talk. But whatever. It's there. In my opinion, it's undervalued. It's underpriced right now. You can get 3.8 times more UFO tokens now than you can PTDC tokens. So let's have a look at the stats for UFO. We have burned 84.77 billion UFO, or $1.882 million worth of UFO. Let's see how much. Let's get a reminder how much in dollars we've burned of PTDC, because PTDC has been around for 6 more months. Okay. We have burned $11 million of PTDC. And in 6 months less time, we have burned 1.882. Wait a second. Did I say 11? Yeah, 11 million, okay, of PTDC since day one. And we burned, I'm going to call that 2 million of UFO. UFO has some catching up to do. In the last 24 hours, we have burned 18.7 million UFO. And the same thing applies. The same principle applies to UFO as applies to PTDC, in that every single one of these tokens that has been sent to the dead address is out of commission. It will never pay anybody another reflection or LP reward, none of that. It's in the dead address. So you have a deflationary supply, total burned 84.7 billion. What's the circulating supply right now? It's down here, 915.2 billion. This circulating supply is always diminishing. Every single day, it becomes less and less and less. As you hold your principal, and this applies to PTGC also. It applies to both these tokens. As you hold your principal, your position relative to the circulating supply increases. And therefore, your rewards also increase. So it's just one of those games where if you're a 30 plus in age, your time horizon is long. If you're 40 plus, it's longer. If you're 50 plus, it's even longer. If you're 60, you follow me? Okay. The longer your time horizon is, the more likely it, or your mental, yeah, the longer your time horizon is, the more likely it is that you can hodl and take advantage of just holding your bag through ups and downs, thick and thin, and seeing that circulating supply decrease and your yield increase. I mean, I know I haven't actually done, it's been a while since I did the experiment, but I know for a fact that my rewards have increased. Let's say I haven't even increased my, if I didn't even increase my principal, let's say I spent all my yield, or I sent it to another wallet, that wallet that has my principal bag in it is going to be, it has been earning more tokens, more. And when it comes to these two tokens, I want more. I want every single one I can get. Thank you, Only Crypto. I appreciate you too as well. Very positive disposition. Very positive. Yes. And I got something from you today too, man. I was thinking about it after when I was at home. I was like, whoa, that is a good one. So thank you very much. You reached out and touched the Prairie Banana Man. It was crypto related, by the way, guys. Let's get back on the stats. What do we got? 171 transactions on UFO. Let's go back and I'd like to do this comparison. I almost want to have this in like a spreadsheet, but it's not as pretty when it's in a spreadsheet. I said 171 transactions and PTDC had 663. Did I say 171? Okay, PTDC had 663 and UFO, yes, had 171. It's 450x away from a penny. 7-day average volume was $29,000. We're gonna have to do this. We're gonna have to compare UFO's 180-day average to last year. Excuse me, guys. So let's have a look. I'll look. You guys just feast your eyes on this. It's 58,690. Let me see if I can quickly find the UFO volume. Okay, I got to scroll over. I've got this massive spreadsheet, guys. It's got so many columns. There's so many columns that has multiple letters. It goes for, they go from A to Z, and then it goes A, B, A, C. It's one of those spreadsheets. Right now I'm on, where am I here? I'm at BH. I'm looking for UFO. I haven't even got to UFO yet. Here we go. UFO volume on column BY, if you're interested. UFO volume. September 2024. I don't have it broken. Oh, here it is, daily volume. $56,000 a day. in September 2024 is $56,000 a day. 56. Who can remember that? I'm just going to type it in the chat. Okay, 56,000. And over here we have, I got to get my eyes back on where in the world? UFO. Oh, here we go. 180-day average. 30-day average is 44,000. 44,000. That's the average. Yeah. Okay. So we're down. UFO is, last year it was 56,000 average daily volume. This year in September, it's 44,000. So there you have it. But really, is it any wonder? Nothing's been happening on Pulse Chain. But like they've been saying on Twitter, and I love this, nothing happens until everything happens. Yeah. True story. Last 180 days, we've collected, UFO has collected $634,000 in fees. $1,250, and this is for the last 24 hours. $1,250 went to LP providers. $400 bought and burned UFO. I love this. $400 bought and burned PTDC, and $400 was paid to holders for rewards. So not a lot of volume. And I'll tell you, like, I don't spend a lot of time on look into, although I data mine it at least once a month. But what I do spend time on is Secreto Bank, the beautiful, simple, first to market Secreto Bank. The greatest currencies, first utility. The volume right now is $139,000 on PTDC. Let's look through some of these pairs. $25,000 of volume on the PulseX pair, $6,000 on the Atropa pair, $2,000 on the Teddy Bear. What about $45,000 on the PLS pair? We should expect that. I'm going to sort these. There we go. $29,000 on the Hex pair, and would that be P Hex? Because E Hex was running today. E-Hex is down here at $997. Okay, but we still had $29,000 on the Hex pair. Wow. And of course, PTDC and UFO's biggest liquidity is with, outside of PLS, is with each other. Wait a second. I thought it was with, where is it? Why would it not be? Okay, it must be. Let me sort by liquidity. PTDC WPLS, their liquidity is 1.5 million, and PTDC PLSX has $631,000 in liquidity. Let's go to UFO. Secretobank.com. Much more? You mean with each other?
I mean, the UFO pair, yeah.
Okay, I'm pulling it up. Let's see. I'm not seeing it. UFO, PTDC.
You have to pull up the UFO pairing, not the PTGC pairing.
Right. It's not here on Secreto Bank. I'd have to look on Deck Screener.
Oh, Secreto Bank is whack then, man. So you got to get off Secreto Bank, man.
Yeah, I do for this instance. Yeah, we'll get it here. So you said you got to go to UFO?
Yeah, so the UFO Pulse pairing has 1.7 million in it, but the PTGC to UFO, let's see what it's got. Oh, it's got 1.6 million. 1.6.
Okay. What do you say
the pairing?
What did you say the Pulse pair had? 1 point.
I think it's 1.7.
Okay.
Yeah, 1.7 million.
Yeah.
That's a lot, man, for where we're at.
It is. And I don't, what's funny? I do not see the UFO PTDC pair on Deck Screener either.
Yeah, so go into the search tab and type in UFO.
Okay.
On Deck Screener.
Yep. Okay.
And then you'll see all the pairs pop up.
Okay. UFO. Make sure I'm not scrolling past it here. UFO. Yeah. It's literally not there, Mando.
On deck screener?
Yeah, they're having a glitch.
That's
clearly.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then just grab the smart contract and see if once you grab the smart contract, it'll pop it in there.
For you,
let me take a look and see if that. Yeah.
For UFO,
grab
you mean?
The contract and paste it in there.
Okay.
Let's see if that pulls it up. No, it's not.
It's totally gone, isn't it?
Wow. Yeah, you got to go to Dex Tools.
Oh yeah. Well, we can do that. I haven't been on Dex Tools in a while.
Dex Tools, 1.6 million LP.
Okay.
So in that, yep.
Let me see if I can spot it. Okay, we do have an LP with BZDC and UFO. It's on Dex Tools.
Right.
Does that ever make you nervous? It don't make me nervous.
Absolutely not.
No.
That's not that. Those LPs aren't going anywhere, man.
No. Yeah. It used to make me nervous. Some of that stuff, you have a little glitch and where you look at your wallet and you got like $5 million in it or whatever. Like, whoa, yeah, man. Like, no, man. Well, what's shaking on your end? What have you picked up? Any intel that you can share with the whole community, or?
No, man. I'm actually just doing more, non crypto related stuff. I mean, it's in these times, man. In my opinion, you make more money doing nothing. So it's like I've been saying, I'm already, in terms of pulse chain stuff, my bags are packed. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And once you start having volume and all that good stuff, then you can start memeing and start having fun on the chain and doing whatever. But until then, you're just begging to become exit liquidity for another meme coin.
Yeah. And increasing your contract risk by messing around.
I do think the one thing is, if there's things that you like on Pulse Chain, if there's some memes or some whatever, it's really not a time to trade. It's always a time to trade. Don't get me wrong. You can always make money trading. But I think that on Pulse Chain right now, if you're gonna do that, it's a good time to take small positions in whatever you think are going to be cool moving into the bull run, into the tail end of the bull run or the end of the cycle for a strong move, right? Whatever those strong memes are, or whatever those protocols are.
Sure.
So if I'm not talking about cores or PTGC, it's whatever those fun narratives are on Pulse Chain that are probably going to do okay. Outside of that, it's just sit on your hands, man, and do nothing.
Yep. Go touch grass, go clean the garage, wash the car, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I will say, going back to what you were saying earlier about the burns, PTGC compared to UFO.
Yeah.
Right, like the token burns. Obviously, man. Like when I'm looking in the APY right now that we're earning for PTGC, it's really nice. I mean, we're getting way more tokens because the price is where it's at right now, and which means that you're getting a really nice multiplier from where we've already been on these coins, and they're very valuable because they're these miners are just going out of business every day. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
The other thing I wanted to say was with UFO, it's the same dollar amount. So for example, every $1,000 that comes out of the UFO system that burns UFO, there's also $1,000 that burns PTGC, right?
Yes.
And so when you're trying to compare, okay, this much has been burned,
right,
versus this much has been burned,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a different. Comparing the two is just, it's kind of silly because they just work together beautifully, and they're paired with so much LP that when one goes up, the other one helps to go up.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good
Especially when you
point.
have a real run. Yeah.
Yeah. True. Very true. And there are some other.
It looks like right now, Prairie, that we really needed to close the month above 108.7 for Bitcoin.
Okay.
And when it was like in 109 on the monthly, it was like, man, we don't want to close below 108,000.
Right.
And it just ripped right back up. So we're looking good, man, for a monthly close in the market.
Right.
Which is great.
Yes. Yeah, it should be a good Q4. It has not been a very good Q3.
Well, we just don't want to see is a confirmed downtrend on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I saw a good post. It's a simple post by RH Maximalist, and I'll just put it in the jumbotron. You know what? Maybe is it there? I don't know. Prairie Banana. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Yeah, it just says Richard Hart is 6 steps ahead of everyone else. Shakeouts, low liquidity, low yield, strategic reserves, mass marketing. Mm-hmm. Shows him kind of like a general contractor guy.
Yes, I saw that post.
It was a very simple post though, but it was it just kind of jolted me just from the simplicity aspect of it when you think about it. It's like, it's true. Super amount of shakeout, which is indicative of what Richard's always said, which sucks. Low liquidity, which from one vantage point is awesome if you want to pump something really, really hard. From the other vantage point, if you want to sell with weak hands at the bottom, it's really crappy for you because you're going to eat a lot more slippage,
right?
Which is exactly what he likes. Low yield. People don't like low yield, but that helps to prevent people from being able to dump into the system infinitum. I think there's like $6 million of stables that were bridged into the chain, $5.5 million of stables. So strategic reserves on chain, and this mass marketing push. It's just an interesting post.
Yeah.
For where we're at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's interesting how we pump up a little bit. We get a little bit of excitement and then it cools off right away. At least on last Friday we pumped up and then Saturday it cooled down. Today it was up a little higher and then it cooled down. It's almost like it's stair stepping. I mean, the whole market. I'm just looking at my watch list here, my sidebar list, and everything was a little hotter earlier today and then it just cooled down. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Does anybody else care to come up and chat?
Yeah, just if you pull up the chart of Pulse Chain on the daily, Prairie, as slow as it is stair stepping up, and we've had, we just hit a higher low again with that wick down to 4028, and it's just as if it's just a small stair step up.
I'll take it.
I know. It's like, but I do want to see that sucker rip past that 55, man.
55, what? That
that last, just that last wick up, like on August 24th, just that last wick. I just want to see it get past that.
Okay. Yeah.
And just go.
I'm tracking with you. Yeah.
It's going to make the system a lot of money.
Oh yeah. I see.
Just between where it is now and there, that is a 57% jump.
Oof. Yeah.
So you're talking, that put PTGC back up, without selling at almost $150 million market cap.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we can take it. I don't mind that short stair step day after day. I really don't mind that at all. I mean, like I just alluded to earlier, I mean, it's already almost at the end of 2025. I can hardly believe it. Like what? It's almost over. I thought we just started. That's how fast time flies, and the days just roll over. Well, if we can do what do we do today for a pulse chain? 2.15%. We're up 2.15%. If we can do that for 180 days, yo. Yeah, that'd be some good. That'd be better than what we've done in the last 180 days.
Yeah, I just think that Richard, if he has a plan that it's obviously a strategic plan that nobody is going to think about, because why would he do what everybody expects, right?
Yeah.
I almost feel like Pulse is going to go up to a certain level, and then when the Bitcoin market, when Bitcoin starts to fall out of its parabola, I almost feel like Bitcoin's going to come down, and then he's just going to allow people to think it's over. Like it's just, okay, we're going into the bear market.
Yeah.
And so people are just going to start selling.
Yeah.
And then that's when he's going to create the brand new floor for Pulse Chain, and everyone's going to be like, fuck, I just sold, and he just ripped it to a new freaking level.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what he's going to do, bro. Pardon my French, but
yeah, I get it.
Instead of it just being like, okay, it goes up and then he just lets it come back down 90%. I think it'll come up, and then he'll just let all those people that want to sell out at those little bit of a higher levels that weren't willing to sell down here and capitulate down here. So they're technically weak hands, but their weak hands a little higher.
Yes.
Right? Maybe at a 2 or 3 or 4 or 5x or whatever. And then it comes down, and then just boom, just leaves everybody, dude.
Yep. I've been thinking about those same scenarios. Something, out of left field from Richard. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of outside the box happenings at this point. So
you got to expect the unexpected from Richard. Like postcards.
Right, like tablets.
Yeah.
Tablets.
That's a sketch.
If you would have told me that Richard was going to send out etch a sketches,
you would have slapped me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely freaking hilarious.
Yeah. If there's one guy I'd like to have over for dinner, man. I mean, if I could ever do it, man, that'd be, I'd love to have Richard Hart to dinner. What a conversation, that'd be a hoot.
Yeah, it would.
Maybe a long dinner though, because I just love it, I'd keep him talking.
I don't think you have to keep Richard talking. Richard loves to talk. He loves to talk about himself. So
yeah, true.
I don't think you're going to stop Richard from talking.
He might be like me, doesn't get to talk crypto about, with like in real life people very often. So when you get that opportunity, I know from my experience, it's like diarrhea of the mouth, man. Like, oh, I finally get to talk to a real person about crypto.
Yeah. We're seeing a lot of people we're seeing not a ton of like bigger wallets, but we're just seeing a lot of distribution here. And it's awesome because the price really isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
People are just buying it up, and the Dow's not even doing anything. It's just, that really is a really strong sign of demand. We're almost at 16,500 wallet holders.
Nice.
So that what is that? When did we just cross over to 16,000? It was just like last month, wasn't it?
Yeah, it had to have been. I'm pulling up my spreadsheet now. Let's see if I can find out.
It had to have been last month sometime or something. But yeah, we're at 416,445 now. So we're adding hundreds of wallets as people are selling their positions out. We're adding wallets, man. People are taking new positions, and these are longer term, Well, you can't say that they're longer term. You don't know, but you assume that if they're taking positions at these levels, they're looking for higher levels. So,
and like you just said, that alludes to the token distribution, because if they're selling out of other assets on Pulse Chain and we're adding wallets, then some of those people are coming over to the grays. And we on November 1st, what was that? 28 days ago, I recorded 16,225 holders, and that's from scanmypinata.cloud. So we added 522 in the month of September. And I can actually just.
Well, you said November 1st, but November is the end of the year. So what did you mean, something else?
No, on September 1st, I recorded 16,225, and right now there are 16,445. 445 minus 225, I think I said, was 220.
In the month of September, in this month.
Yep, 220 wallets. From the 1st to the 29th. Yeah. And it was that is let me see. I don't have it broken down by month. That's my problem with the spreadsheet. I don't have it broken down by month. Or I do over on the other one, but I'm not going to look that up. But the point is, I think, September has been slow, but we still added over 200 wallets.
Dow currently in the available funds, 250 million Pulse. That's great. Today is what, the 28th?
29th.
Okay, so the 29th, today, 300 million Pulse coming out. On the 3rd, there's 200 million. There's already another 250 million waiting for proposals. And then the system itself in the treasury is literally sitting on 7.5 billion already. So you're nicely over 8 billion at this point, just chilling, which is, what is that, like almost 300 grand?
8 billion. $285 grand.
Yeah, so Pulse just does a 2x and you're sitting on 600 G's.
What protocol on Pulse Chain has a reserve of $285,000? That's not in an LP. And not in somebody's, private wallet. Like a founder.
Right, like the Trust Me Bro scenario or whatever, right? Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know that there's one with that's not a Trust Me Bro.
Yeah.
Which I'm good with that. I mean, I'll speculate on some other things that are Trust Me Bros, but not with a ton of money. I'll tell you that.
For sure.
Not with a ton of money.
Not with the money you put into the grays, or you have in the grays.
Oh, hell no.
No way.
No way. Maybe like $5,000 or something. Nothing like that. No freaking way.
Yeah.
I've just never seen it turn out well, ever. When you put money in the hands of an entity and they're supposed to do the right thing. I've just never seen anybody do the right thing. I'm not saying that they won't, but I just haven't.
Mm-hmm. What's great about that reserve too is like we're not in a hurry to spend it, and I love that. The Dow is being very deliberate with that treasury fund. And
well, I think what we've learned, Prairie, is that, you know, why give a pump and exit liquidity to people who are undervaluing the token? Why? When there's literally no need, and when we're expecting a natural pump on the system from the RH ecosystem naturally pumping and getting that reflexivity. So, you know, until you start having a natural uptrend from the LP and the assets that are already in the LPs, why reward weekends?
mm-hmm.
The system's just going to keep making money. There's a ton of new users on the sidelines waiting for levels to take positions. There's literally billions of Pulse Chain on the side of existing users ready to buy at certain levels. And it's very close to these levels, right? So, you know, if people want to sell here, it's like, we know that there's big players on the side that are willing to come in at a certain level. We know the Dow is just going to keep stacking. We know there's new users coming in. I mean, we just added almost 250 this month. So, yeah, I mean, if people want to sell at these levels, then why reward them?
Yes. Backwards Hat Dad has a question. When a proposal passes, does it go to the Treasury and then an action like buy and burns, LP ads, etc. occurs?
That's correct. Yep, it goes to the Treasury wallet, and then that proposal is activated at strategic times.
Okay.
And there's never once been a proposal that wasn't done properly.
Yeah, that's good, man. That is good news. But we know what had happened if anybody ever did misbehave, and they would be, you know, not blacklisted because that's impossible, but in a sense, they would be marked.
Yeah, just no, you know, you're not going to ever have a proposal go through again from that wallet address.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because 27 months and that's never happened.
Yeah.
At this point, you know, the top 50 holders, they're benevolent to the system because the system is benevolent to them. Why? How are you incentivized to harm your golden goose? That makes absolutely no sense.
Sure. Yep. I'm going to look up and see how much you got to have to be a top 100. Unless you know off the top of your head. It always changes.
No, I don't.
It always varies. And to find this out, guys, you can go to pulsetgc.com and select DAO and then click on make a proposal. And you can scroll down and you can see the top 100 stakers. Backwards Hat Dad says that he'd like to put forth a proposal that Prairie Banana dresses up like a banana for Halloween. Funny.
Well, you could just put that proposal in the TG and we'll just vote on it.
Yeah. Well, it looks to me like
you still are on the chopping block for that tattoo, man. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah. Well, you know my answer for the tattoo. You got to have 380 million PTDC to be in the top 100. 380 million. So, and
yeah, that's a good amount.
And that's been coming down all the time. It's always being reduced. I know it in the last couple of weeks, there have been a couple of people shake themselves out. So, You just got to huddle. If you're not in the top 100, you just got to wait. You may never get there, but you might get close. And if you're in the top 100, I tip my hat to you. Congratulations. All right. Question, Mando.
Yes.
A couple weeks ago, you mentioned, and this is just to take up airspace, okay, mainly.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to come up, please come up. Please come up and chat with us.
You mentioned your friend. You and another gentleman were talking, and you mentioned the lady friend that you onboarded that got wrecked, and you said that she sent money to an exchange, and both of you guys were like, well, that's terrible. And she got wrecked by sending money to an exchange. So I must be missing something. She did something wrong. Maybe she didn't send it to the wrong. She sent maybe she sent Pulse to an Ethereum address or something. Or like, what happened?
Well, no, this wasn't Pulse. This was actually a ICO that happened on Solana, and she bought into the launch of a token, and you know, with those tokens, you have to send the money from your decentralized wallet to their decentralized wallet. So when they actually drop the tokens are distributed to the decentralized wallets, right?
Got it.
She sent the $50,000 to Coinbase. The token was called Slothana. Slothana. So she sent the freaking $50,000 to the Slothana Coinbase wallet. Lost all her money.
Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, I remember that from the Pulse and PulseX sacrifice.
You know what you want to know what the shitty thing was? Was that she actually picked a freaking massive runner.
Oh, really?
And she could have made an absolute freaking killing if the tokens were in her wallet, but because she didn't have them, she couldn't sell it.
Man.
Oh yeah, I think she would have turned 50 grand into like 700 G's or whatever, dude.
Yeah, because she had you in her back pocket to help you at that time.
All she had to do was call me, man. You know. But
wow.
Yeah. So what ended up happening was she called me, and I basically was going to try to contact. I tried to contact Coinbase. They were absolutely worthless, just worthless. They you know, they had tokens, but they wouldn't. You know. Anyway, long story short, after that, she contacted me back again, and I just said, "Don't ever contact me back again." And this was my son's best friend's mother.
Right.
Don't ever contact me back about crypto ever again.
Ouch. That hurts.
Yeah.
It's
Well, when I take somebody on, I professionally onboard them. I set them up with their tracers. We order everything direct. I help them. I take a lot of time.
Oh yeah.
And you know, so when you just blatantly just disregard everything, why should I? You know, why should I be the guy to help you out for free and then, you know, after the fact, and then have to be freaking tech support? You know, just that's a waste of time. But yeah. So anyway, that was the story there.
Okay, that makes sense now. Thanks for clearing that up, because I was like, how do you mess up sending money to an exchange? That's how she did. She messed it up. She messed up because she sent it to a hot wallet. Yeah.
She sent it to a wallet that could not be traced back to her.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So she got no credit.
No, unfortunately not, man.
There's so many ways to get wrecked in crypto. That's why you really got to be diligent. You got to keep your ear to the ground. You got to ask a lot of questions, and one of the biggest problems, one of the biggest threats to our crypto is FOMO. And that's what is so nice about holding the greatest currencies and having a long-term mindset, is you can just hold these tokens and they generate you more tokens, and you can just relax. You can sleep good at night. You don't got to interact with the contract very often. Like, I don't even claim my rewards, but maybe once a month. And I know I should do it more, but I'm just like, I'm good.
I claim my PTGC once a week. because it compounds.
Yeah, I know I should do that too. I do it about every 3 to 4 weeks.
I mean, it costs nothing to do it. And the second that those tokens, because the thing is if you don't claim the staked tokens, if you don't claim the ones you're earning from staking, they don't get into the pool and they don't count towards you earning more. So, I mean, to me, it's like once a week, claim them and you're compounding.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to do that tomorrow because we've had some good volume. So I'm going to claim. We'll see how many people have unlocked too. We'll find that out tomorrow. Yeah, I'm excited. I'll be getting this monthly data. It takes me a couple hours to get it together, but once, especially like last month was the first month. I'm sure you watched that stream where I put all the data into those spreadsheets, not spreadsheets, but the bar graphs and the pie charts and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yo, that is cool. And but it takes me several hours. But I'm going to tell you what, man, I love seeing that data in those bar graphs. I don't care if it's up, down, sideways. I just like seeing it. All that information from the volume to the liquidity pools to the price to everything.
Yeah, it's a lot of information.
It just gives you because otherwise, if you don't have information like that, it's almost like you're like kind of traveling blind, almost. It's like I said, even if it's like not such great news for the month of September, I still want to see it because in the month of October, when I do it again, we'll look back at September and hopefully it'll be improved, and then we'll be able to see how much, and we won't be going from memory. How much we can trust our memories. So yeah, man, numbers don't lie.
Well, it's one of the things I love about the Grays is, the Grays shows up regardless if it's shit or not. It's aggregating data for the community when it's really, really bad and when it's really, really good. And, there's something to be said about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's unique. You're not just showing up when it's all FOMO and green candles. You're showing up when it's trash too. And You're just showing the numbers.
Yep.
And, hey, there's transparency, honesty, data, information. People can make real choices instead of, when 95% of this whole space is just KOLs and, paid. You know how many people I have hit my TGs every day for PTGC? We're raiders, pay us $3,000 and we'll raid you into $1 million. And, all the exchange. It's like, we don't do any of that, guys. Sorry.
Nope. I block it.
We don't do any of the things that everybody else does because we don't do that to our community. We just put out the numbers.
Yep.
And it just feels so much more, it's just so much more integrity than the BS that, you do to try to pump people up to make them exit liquidity or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I do know what you mean. I've learned a lot in the last 18 months. Actually, I've learned it all since I got much of it. Since I got into PTDC, I've learned a lot in this ecosystem. Come a long way, baby. Backwards Hat Dad says, in reference to our security topic just a few minutes ago, he says, always do test transactions. And I agree. That's very sound advice. BHD.
Yeah, I mean, even in that scenario, like, I still think she would have just wrecked herself because she didn't. She just did the opposite of what I told her to do. I told her make 0 moves. And I charged her for the consultations, the initial setups and everything, because I do that so that people will take it seriously, And I said, make 0 moves, because the truth is that, she was a trader on the stock exchange, pretty savvy lady, military, nurse, TG Ameritrade, so she's trading legacy stuff. So she thinks that she can handle it, but she just, if you're coming from legacy to crypto, it's literally like you're just a newborn babe and you just are in diapers, right? You don't have a clue, dude. You know?
Yeah.
And I try to tell her that, but yeah. So as we onboard people, you gotta keep that in mind. You know.
Yes.
But it's very frustrating when you do everything right, and then they just throw the baby out with the bathwater and lose all their money. So frustrating. But I will tell you this. She has gone on to make a killing.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
She has gone on to actually make a lot of money from the initial consultations.
Awesome.
She licked her wounds. She said, "I'm so sorry. It's none of it's your fault. You were so helpful." And I was like, "Well, that's great. Don't call me back for anything else." But my son told me that she's gone on to make a lot of money.
That's awesome, man.
You know, just from 6 hours of training.
Yeah. So I'd venture, I guess you wouldn't have made near as much money if she hadn't got wrecked. How much you want to bet?
No, and
it was a good bad experience.
The BS of it all is, you know, I was going to onboard her into Pulse Chain, into PTGC.
Oh, yeah.
And I just decided, nah, forget it. I'm good. Maybe I should call her back.
Now you'd be going back on your word, though. But you could do that. I mean, even God changes his mind.
Yeah, you could do that. You can do that. I have a long list. I actually have a pretty good Rolodex right now. But like I said, I don't believe in dollar cost averaging into a downtrend.
Yes.
So I would like to see a confirmation of a true uptrend with Pulse Chain, and then I'll start making some phone calls. I want to see Pulse Chain go up.
What's your definition of a true reversal for an uptrend?
I want to see Pulse at 4 zeros and a 9.
Okay. Okay, and now that's a price. What about like daily or weekly candles?
I don't care about that.
Okay.
I don't care about that. Well, you know, you care about closes, right? But you don't know what the closing are. Like if you're looking at the weekly, you have to wait 7 days for a weekly close.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But I'm at this point, I'm so over like having an uptrend and then it just gets sold into. Uptrend sold into. Uptrend sold into, right? So I'm past all that. I want an uptrend that keeps going and then hits a certain level. And for me, it's the 409.
Oh, 409. Yo, that's up. Okay.
On Pulse Chain.
Yeah. Okay. And we were at that level back in December. Close.
Yeah, and do you know why it's the 409?
Let me think.
Look at the chart.
It's because that's a resistance point right there.
Exactly.
Yeah, we got to break.
I wanted to tap that. I wanted to go through that. Then I want it to come back down, create a higher low, and then start moving back up and then confirm that uptrend. That's what I want.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay. And then we got to break through another resistance at 3018 roughly.
Yeah. So that I mean, once we get there, that's a lot of people are going to start buying back in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Between 409 and 3018. I mean, that's FOMO. That's FOMO period right there. That's people that we're going to miss the boat if we don't get in. That's the mindset.
Yeah. That's when we're going to have, a lot of the big influencers are going to perhaps go public about their position in Pulse Chain.
Well, yeah, because you're not going to be able to have Ivan on Tech bullshitting about, you're not even, this stupid ass laugh talking about, you're not even past SAC rate anymore. Okay, now it's past SAC rate. Now you've 2x SAC rate. If you look at it like Bitcoin topped out at 69.
Mm-hmm.
And right now it's 109.
Yeah.
So it hasn't even 2x'd. Ethereum hasn't even 2x'd. Right?
True.
If you look at BNB did B&B land at? B&B, by the way, B&B is just slamming. Like CZ is just crushing all. Like he's like the OG, man, you know. But if you look where it bottomed at what, 214, and now it's at 1,000. So let's just say 4 or 5x, right? So you got a 4 or 5x from the bottom, BNB. You've got less than a 2x with Bitcoin. You don't even have a 2x with ETH. So if you get Pulse Chain doing the 2x, 5x, 6x, 8x, 10x, you're outperforming the bigger players at that point. And yeah, you know, it's not the 1,000x, the 14,000x, and all this BS, but it's got to start somewhere. And when you start delivering better gains than the major L1s, and you're a major, now you start getting everybody's in profits who sacrificed. People are starting to bridge in. People know it's Richard's chain. You know, that's when you start having momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I said in the Crypto Kings, people aren't they're not loyal to chains, they're loyal to gains. So if they start seeing, if there are all these other L1s, they start seeing a ripping Pulse chain, they're going to come over to play in the casino. That's just how it works, man. It doesn't matter what's happened in the past with Pulse chain. None of those people care. They weren't here for the sacrifices. They don't have a clue about anything. They're just here to play in the casino.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to tell you, man, the people that know what PTGC is now, man, those people are going to be locked in.
Yes.
Prairie, you know, man. You know, if Pulse Chain gets a 5, 10x in the short order here, whew, people that own these tokens, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Locked in.
Yep. Yes. I had a conversation with somebody yesterday about, and I finally, I befriended them, and they're still my friend. We're friends. But, you know, you kind of, especially when you're so passionate about something, when you befriend somebody, you're like, okay, I'm going to pitch them on it, you know? And, finally the door opened up, and I pitched this person on PTDC and UFO, and it didn't go over as well as I hoped. But the end of the conversation was, and they're into the cores, you know, and I wrapped up the conversation like, you know, we're all gonna make it. We're all gonna make it. It's gonna be just fine.
What was the you know, there's always a way to better yourself and to better your approach, to better your you know. So what was kind of the rebuttal? What was the reason why it was kind of a negative experience?
Okay, this person's experience that I think was causing the resistance. She has had a lot of negative experiences messing around in other ecosystems, getting talked into this one and talked into that one and getting wrecked. She's like, I'm not messing around anything else but Richard Hart's cores. And I was like, okay. And I told her, I wasn't able to show her, but I was able to tell her that, you know, hey, these, you know, it ain't worth wrecking our friendship over, but these PTDC and UFO tokens have been outperforming those core assets. And we love those core assets. Somebody needs to buy them. But yeah, facts are facts. But she's like, nah, it's all right. Thanks. I'm like, okay. She's like, but I really want you guys to win. I've got a lot of friends that hold that stuff. And I really want all of you guys to win. I'm like, great attitude.
I think I know who you're talking about. Can I guess?
Let me see.
Will you tell me if I guess?
Let me see who's watching. Oh yeah, we got a small crowd. Go for it.
No, you know what? It doesn't matter anyway, because God bless her regardless. It's her choice.
She's good. She's a good gal. Tam.
Yeah, and you know who? I was just gonna say it's Tam. It's Tam. You know.
Yeah.
Because she just loves Richard, man.
She does.
She just loves Hags, bro.
Yep.
You know. But, at some point, people come around.
Yeah.
And the longer that PTGC is on chain and adding users and Zen showing up and the protocol, which is a fee sharing protocol, sharing those fees with the community, is hedging against entropy, which I think that a lot of people don't get.
Yes.
I think a lot of people don't understand the concept of entropy in an ecosystem and why it's so important to have something that's able to hedge what's essentially energy death. Tokens die because of heat death, because of energy death. It's the second law of thermodynamics. It's happening in the universe. It's happening in your cells. It's happening in absolutely everything. It happens in financial systems, right?
Yep.
So if you run out of energy, your chart goes down, right? So one of the things that Richard even spoke about was that, look, I can program tokenomics. I can program bigger pays better. I can program the supply of a token. I can program how much interest is paid out in a token, but I can't program demand because it has to do with emotions, human emotions. Well, along comes PTGC. And PTGC figured out a way to actually program an actual legitimate percentage of demand that is not dependent or contingent on human emotions. And the tune of currently right now, $4.5 million a year, which is about $300,000 to $375,000 a month in revenue that's being generated.
Yeah, man.
So that money hedges entropy. Now, if you're in a meme coin or any token that doesn't have the ability to generate energy from outside the system and bring it into the system, that 100% is directed toward that system, you're in an obsolete system. It's one of the things that I think is really interesting about people's objections to a system like PTGC. Oh, it's just another, I hear it all the time. It's just, and haters hit me up because, they see I'm a PTG. Mando, you used to be so good. You used to be this. Now you're just all PTGC. You're so boring. And then I go on their page and I'm like, bro, look at the trash you're in. You're literally just gambling with your family's money with no KPIs, with zero data, with no track record. Like, it's just laughable. But you hear these guys and they'll come in and it's like, it's just a tax token kind of a thing.
They have no idea.
Yeah,
they haven't done their homework.
So like they think about Safe Moon or they think about whatever they think about, but they don't realize that all of those things were massively studied for their pros and cons in the development of this protocol.
Yep.
And how super well balanced the design is. Right. So it is as a matter of fact, the other day I did actually went back and did a historical study on SafeMoon. And it just shored up my memory on it and just shored up my conviction in the PTGC ecosystem even more. I was like, oh my gosh, this is just phenomenal.
Nice. Do you remember any key takeaways from it?
Well, the first thing was that, it was a 10 and 10 initially.
10 and 10 what? What do you mean?
It was a 10% tax.
Oh, okay.
So it was a tax token.
Yeah.
Right? It was a 10% in and 10% out. And half of the tax was used to pay out more SafeMoon.
Okay.
That was
sounded good so far.
It ended up being a major problem because in that scenario, you're paying out more than you're bringing in. The other half was used for LP ads and for burns, but the burns weren't programmed automatic. They were arbitrary and capricious and just kind of controlled by the CEO of SafeMoon, who also controlled all of the LPs and ended up being indicted for laundering over $200 million worth of money out of the LPs.
Yo, wow.
That doesn't happen here. That can't happen here. The LPs are burned.
Yep.
The LPs are community owned. All of the money is automatically programmed outside of the DAO, and the DAO is 100% tracked for where the money goes.
Yep.
And not one time has it not gone to the right place for the community. It's not an overtax. It's right in that sweet spot. And another interesting point was that SafeMoon didn't have a liquidity web that was able to generate revenue.
Right.
And even if they tried, they would have made anything because the spread to rebalance pools would have been so high that it would be very difficult to try to earn anything because of the spread on the tokens. The spread in terms of prices. When you have a 10% tax, in order for you to earn revenue on the rebalancing of the pool, you have to have a 15, 20% spread in price shifts.
Okay.
That's very hard to do. That's very hard to get 15, 20, 30% spreads. You know, if you got a certain...
You there, Mando? I think we lost him. Mando, you there? Or do I need to drop out?
Sorry about that. I had a, yeah. No, I got, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. You were talking about the spreads.
Yeah. Yeah, so my dad called, sorry. Yeah, I'll just stop there. But, you know, when you have such a high tax, it makes it very difficult to, you know, if you have a pool sell down, it has to sell down 15 to 25% so that the ARB bots can kick in and actually make some money ARBing. So you have to have a way larger spread in the LPs to generate income. So there was just a lot of things that really popped out, and PTGC suffers from none of those things. So when people say, "Oh, it's just a tax token," no, it's not.
It's
not, dude.
Way more than a tax token. It's it's a well designed tax token. It's a tax token with a lot of purpose behind it. Yeah. Well, does anybody else care to come up and chat? Anybody else? It's quiet on YouTube. I saw Zen drop in a couple of times. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Fast Abdul, I see you in there. Fellow introvert.
I'm here for the tech.
I'm here for the camels. Yeah, I think we're going to call it a night, guys. There's 16 people on Spaces, and I don't know how many on YouTube, but we're going to wrap it up. We will be on Spaces again on Saturday, 7 a.m. Pacific. And actually, Zen and I are going to stream Friday. We're planning for Friday, and we're going to talk about the data for the month of September and going all the way back. As long as I can get it all together by Friday, we will do the same thing that we did at the end of August, and we'll look at all the stats. It's really a lot of fun. So we'll do that on Friday. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. Everybody go have a great week, and we'll see you on Saturday and Friday. Prairie Banana over and out. Adios, guys.